Hey guys, today's video I'll just be giving you some tips on how to grow your hair longer and faster. So I've actually been growing my hair for several years now and it is almost down to my bum, and I haven't been getting haircuts too frequently or anything like that, but I will give you some tips on how to naturally grow your hair longer. So the first important tip that I can give you is number one, do not wash your hair more than 3 times a week. 3 times a week is pushing it. I would wash it no more than 2 times a week, just because every time you wash your hair, you're getting rid of all those really, really good oils in your hair. And even though your hair, might feel greasy and you think that it's dirty, it's actually just oil. And that oil is extremely good for your hair, to get it to grow longer and to preserve it and protect it. So if you are washing hair, then you are drying your hair out, and that will also cause your hair to break and therefore, just be shorter. So that is the most important tip. The second thing that I do and that I really recommend is using some kind of shampoo and conditioner that is sulfate free and organic, or something like nothing that has bad chemicals in it. So for an example, I use Live Clean Exotic Nectar Argan Oil shampoo and conditioner. So I'm not sure if it's blurry or if you can see this or not, but they just look like this. And right on it, it says that it's 96% plant derived, so already you know that there's going to be nothing bad in it. It's sulfate free, and it is enriched with argan oil, and that's going to make your hair silkier and protected as well. And I love this stuff. When I finish using it, my hair feels like really, really silky and stuff, so I don't ever have to add too much extra stuff to it to smooth it out. Another thing that I recommend is, and that I use is olive oil. So I have Palmer's olive oil formula, and it smells extremely good, and it's made with extra virgin olive oil, and there's also obviously other ingredients in there, but it's just like a thick paste, and you literally get like a tiny dab on your finger and apply it to the ends of your hair, not the roots, because that's just going to make your hair even more oily. Add it to the ends because your ends are always dry, and this is going to protect them from breaking, and it'll like trigger your if you put it at the roots, it'll trigger your hair to grow. I don't put it at my roots just because my hair is very oily to begin with, and if I put it at my roots, it'll just be so greasy. I'll be washing it every day. But if you do put it at your roots, it will trigger your hair to grow, and if you put it at your ends, it will protect the ends from breaking. If you don't want to buy this, you can use just plain extra virgin olive oil that you have in your cupboard. Just make sure it's the real extra virgin olive oil. Sometimes they say it's pure, but it's actually not. A way you can tell if your olive oil is pure or not is if you take a tiny little bit and put it in your fridge. If it solidifies, then you know that it's not pure, but if it remains liquid even when it's cold, then you know it's the extra virgin olive oil that you have is pure. So that's just a tip if you want to try that. Another thing that I use, I don't use them both together, I use one or the other, is Icon India Oil, or I think it's Icon. It's a therapy ointment, and it looks like this. Again, not sure if it's blurry for you, but it's exotic oil, and there are a lot of really, really good ingredients in it, including argan oil, which is really, really good for your hair. And it's like an eyedropper, or a medicine dropper, I'm not sure what you want to call it. You just pinch a little bit. So this stuff lasts me, like I've had it for years, and I'm still not even like a quarter through the bottle, because you take a tiny little drop and again apply it to the ends of your hair to protect them from breaking and splitting. And if you're doing this, then you won't have to get a haircut as often. And it also, if you put it at your roots and on your hair, then it will trigger your hair to grow, and it will also smoothen out your hair. So those are the main things that I use. Now my hair is naturally extremely, extremely curly. It's not straight, so I do straighten it. However, if you do want your hair to grow and you don't want your ends to be breaking and all that stuff, I recommend avoiding heat styling as much as possible, just because the more you style your hair, the more you're burning it and going to break it, and that's not healthy for your hair, and therefore your hair won't grow. So I would like to say just avoid it as much as you can. However, if you have hair like mine, which is like crazy, unruly, curly, and you do want to straighten it, then I recommend using some sort of hair protectant, or heat styling protectant, and just make sure, try and get like a good one if you can, something that's, doesn't have too many bad ingredients in it for your hair. Um, and just apply a little bit to your hair before you style it, and this will protect your hair as much as possible from heat styling. So, and just again, limit the use. I probably straighten or curl my hair. If I say curl, I mean straighten and then curl it after that. Probably twice a week. But I only wash my hair twice a week. So, yeah, I do straighten a lot, but it's just because my hair curly on its own, I don't like it at all. It's just crazy. So that's another tip. And another thing is to avoid coloring your hair. Now, I know I'm saying that right now. My hair is naturally dark, dark, dark brown that it almost looks black, but I did color the ends of my hair a slighter brown just for like a slight ombre, but I hardly ever dye my hair, not even once a year. So I thought maybe I'd just treat myself and just go for something different. But like I said, just trying to avoid coloring your hair, especially bleaching, because that really destroys your hair. If you bleach your hair, then it will just like dry out your ends so bad that they will break, and they will also feel so rough. Like the texture of your hair will be really, really weird, and it'll just completely destroy your hair. So like I said, just avoid coloring, especially bleaching, as much as you can. And if you do want to randomly, indulge in a new color or a change, obviously you can go for it, but just take extra care of your hair if you are going to do that. And finally, just when you're brushing your hair, I forgot to add this in the beginning, preferably brush it when it is wet. If you're brushing your hair when it's dry and you're trying to get knots out, that will break a lot of your ends, and just they'll become split, and then you'll just have to get a haircut sooner, and then your hair, will just take longer to grow. So I would just definitely say just be careful when you're brushing. Maybe use like a leave-in conditioner. I use that sometimes just to make my hair easier to brush because my hair is really curly, just so I'm not like tugging at the hair and ripping it. And like I said, for haircuts, when you're going, just make sure you're only taking off the very, very, very ends, and don't go too often. Like sometimes people say, if I go often, I'm cutting my dead ends and my hair will grow quicker. That's not true. Just as long as you're maintaining your ends, to a certain extent, then they'll be okay, because your hair does grow from your roots. And if you're doing all the tips that I said, your hair will be growing faster than your ends will be breaking. So hopefully that makes sense to you, and hopefully you found these tips helpful, and I do hope they work for you. My hair is really, really long, and it's hard to see, especially in this lighting, but it's also very, very thick. And I have no extensions or anything, but I have a ton of hair, and I find that because I'm following, these little steps here, it's just getting thicker and longer, and it used to grow very slow, so I've noticed that's been growing a lot quicker, and I'm really happy about that. So I hope you, again, found these tips helpful, and if you did, then please subscribe below and like this video. Bye!